Alright, so information on the program. As I stated on the last slide, age ranges for attendance, newborn to 18 years of age. Age for enrollment, which is a very important part of the program, is newborn to 5. Remember on that last slide we actually talked about the fact that from newborn to 5 is where they're actually learning and they're absorbing everything, so you want to definitely get the age group right there. Anything past that point would have to get board approval. The candidates will also undergo 3 tests. You have your social skills, cognitive skills, and your physical skills. They must pass all 3, but it's very important to figure out which one is actually that individual's leadership style. Are they that social butterfly that can come into a room and captivate an audience that way? Do they have the cognitive skills to where they're very intellectual and they can stimulate others' minds and influence people that way? Are they the physical leader, the one that wants to take charge, get right out there with the people? Which one of these 3 stands out the most for them? And that's how we get our basis for our leaders. Tuition will be $2,500 a month. Rates may vary for inner city candidates just because there are 2 different types that we'll be looking at, and we'll find that out on the next slide. And along with the leadership development, students will also learn on the nationally accredited curriculum base. Then that way we can make sure that we're able to get financial aid assistance and other grants that schools and early childhood education programs get. And candidates will also learn something that I think is very important, which is the Six Sigma, C++, and other business attributes that you can find. They'll get taught those type of things as they're developing their leadership skills. Again, the program is open 24 hours. We'll have 2 shifts of teachers. The ratio will be 1 teacher for every 12 students, and that's from ages 5 to 18. The newborns, of course, will go by the state guidelines. So let's go ahead and talk business. So for the marketing strategy, I don't want to focus on the Ivy League students. I don't feel that that's where you're going to find those gems at. I really want to go into your military personnel and then into the inner cities where the kids aren't given the opportunity. Again, that's given that one top thing that we said was lacking on an earlier slide, giving that opportunity to some other individuals. Within the first year, we plan on enrolling 200 students within the first years of business. We will open locations for the next 10 years, opening 4 locations each year. So after 10 years, we should be up to 40 locations. The first 2 locations will be within 10 miles of the nearest military base. That way we're getting what I like to believe is a good portion of where our leaders are bred from. We'll start right there around the military base and see if we can't get some good candidates from there. And then the reason why we chose that is just the fact that military parents already have those set standards that we would expect for their children to also inherit as they're raising them and they're growing up throughout their stages. The next 2 locations will be in the lower income areas of major cities to include the metro areas. The reason that we chose this is because there's a lot of untapped resources out there. Kids staying in trouble, getting into the wrong thing, just because, again, like I said, idle minds. Doing something like this actually takes a program and it gives back to the community, which is what we definitely want to do. So we'll have that open. So for each year that we're opening up, it'll be 2 near a military base and then 2 in the major cities. With the inner city facilities, we'll work with the states to get that state funding to offer them lower tuition rates. That's how we can supplement their costs to make it to where we get that well-rounded base of enrollees. And in the program, like I said earlier, we'll have financial aid and federal aid acceptability. So, what's needed to take flight? What I'm needing from you guys is this. I need the investment of $250,000, which is a small change out of anyone's pocket as I get into the later slides. And if you remember what I just said about 200 enrollees, we're talking about 2,500. That's already $6 million within the first year. Your return on investment, as you'll see in a later slide, will actually be doubled back to where I'll be able to give you back $500,000 for those investments. The locations that I chose for my first 4 sites are going to be near Fort Hood, Texas, which is one of the military's largest military installations. It sits right outside of Killeen, Texas. And then we have Houston, Texas, to kind of keep the program as close as possible Those two are within at least 100 miles of each other. Then you have Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and Nashville, Tennessee. The cost per building, which is associated with the liability, is up to $30,000 for each building. Then I'll actually spend another $50,000 for research and recruiting of teachers, $80,000 for advertising, and then also plan on working with local colleges in order to get some partnerships with the Early Childhood Education Association to make this program really take off. Like I said earlier, return on investment. In the first year, TLA will gross $6 million in revenue. We'll double what was invested. Like I told you earlier, $500,000 back to you. And then we'll renegotiate terms of continued investment after the first year. After you guys see how great my proposal was and we get everything going, you'll want to invest and really be a part of this, and we'll go into partnership on that. So the last thing is, let's do business. For investment information, you can go ahead and reach out to me. I have a number there, 302-257-9896, and then a mailing address of 237 Pavin Court, Newark, Delaware. Alright guys, thank you for the time, and again, let's go ahead and give back to the community.